What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Monday, February 17th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Maritza Felix, and she is a investigative journalist based out of Phoenix, Arizona. She has been in journalism for the past 15 plus years, associated with Telemundo, Arizona, and now founder and director for Connecta, Arizona. So we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into journalism and get to know her a little bit as well. So without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful and the talented Maritza. Good morning. How we doing today?
Hi, Chris. Good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Just want to say you look absolutely lovely this morning. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you. It's
You
the
are,
color. It's yellow and it's cloudy outside, so it's nice.
I love it. I love it. It's a great look on you. I just want to say thank you so much for hopping on my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I want to ask you, how was your weekend as our weeks are getting started?
It was actually pretty good. I went to the Renaissance Fest yesterday. I ate a turkey leg, a couple of beers. It was nice. The weather was fantastic. What about yours?
Mine was pretty good, pretty good, pretty solid. Just a work weekend, pretty much. So I worked all weekend, but now I get to work today, and I get the next 3 days off. I'm actually traveling to New York City tomorrow, so going to a conference. So that should be pretty fun. So yes, I'm looking forward to
That's
that.
where is home for you?
Home is Minnesota, Minnesota. So yeah, I definitely I actually transplanted from here from Atlanta, Georgia, where I started my journalism career. Started there, and then I transplanted here to where I do full time. I did full time for the first 2 years I was here. This is year three of me being here. So now I'm freelance, kind of what you're doing right now. So I work with different networks and I work with different publications, depending on the story or the games. I'm a sports reporter, so I do a lot of games and stuff like that.
Very nice. That's fun.
Mm,
So I
absolutely.
have a friend, a very close friend over there is I forgot his name. Ah, very good friend. I forgot his name. How awful I am. But he was telling me that it was extremely cold still over there, like minus.
Oh, it's negative 17 degrees today. So it's very cold. That's why I'm inside. I really don't want to go outside, but I have to a little later on for work, but that's okay. I'm glad I'm going to New York to where it's gonna be a heat wave. It's gonna be in the 20s. I'll take that over negative 17.
And over here we're at 80s. It's like, can you imagine? The weekend was fantastic. For us, that's our like winter kind of spring weather. So it's
Right,
nice.
right.
So
And
we're
then you're based in Arizona, correct?
yes, we are. Yeah, I
Okay,
am.
got you, got you. Okay, so I want to reiterate to you before I start peppering you with all these questions on why I wanted to have you on here, and that's because I know you're an investigative journalist. I know you've been a journalist for over, I believe, 15 plus years
Mhm.
with Telemundo, Arizona before, and now you're doing Connect Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. You're the founder and director of that. So I love talking to different journalists about their why and getting to know them outside of their occupation. It's a rarity, Maritza. That's how you say your name, by the way, Maritza?
Yes.
Okay, it's a rarity that we get to sit down and talk like this, be able to talk about our story, our whys, because we're always going to get the story. So it's a pleasure to be able to hear your background, hear your why, but also get to know you a little bit because I have some fun, interesting questions as well. So with that being said, my first question is the same to every guest that I have on my podcast, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or inspirations growing up? Ultimately, why did you choose a career in journalism?
Well, hola, buenos días. My name is Maritza Felix. I'm the founder and director of Connect Arizona. And my why is I love telling stories, but I realized in my career that it matters who tells the story. And for a very long time, we actually allow somebody else with very different experiences than ours to tell our stories. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing is like I'm very good at writing, and now I'm very good at WhatsApp, and it made sense. That's my why.
I love that. I love it. Was there anything else, maybe growing up, that you ever wanted to do, that you always want to know that you wanted to go in journalism?
Of course not. I actually wanted to be an attorney. My dad was an attorney. My brother is an attorney. So my whole family revolves around law in Mexico.
Mhm.
And I remember when I was a little kid, one of the presidential candidates for Mexico was from my hometown, and he was killed when he was running for president. And I
Wow.
remember that it was like a shock for me. I was like around 10, 11 years, something around that. And I
Okay.
saw all the media coming to my hometown. My hometown in Mexico is very, very, very small, just a couple of thousand people, and that's it. And I remember all the media and all the photographers and all the cameras and all the people doing the live chats from over there. It's like, this is interesting. And I remember that I wrote something about it, and it was like once and done. It was nice, done. And then I remember when I was going to apply for the university that I was like applying to be an attorney. And a day
Sure.
before that, I went to a concert with my brother, and it was a very extremely fun night. And I remember next morning when I woke up, it's like, I'm not gonna pass. So I'm gonna choose something that is gonna be easier for my brain. The morning after the concert, and I chose communications. And
Okay.
yeah, and that's why I ended up being a journalist. I knew that I love telling stories, but I didn't know what kind of format. And I realized that journalism was the best fit for me. And
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I love it. And you do such a great job. There's no question about that. That's amazing. You went to the school, if I'm gonna say this right, Universidad de
Del
Noroeste,
noroeste, ajá, en
no-
México.
which in translation is Northwest University in English. Talk to me, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going there?
Well, I'm from a very small town in Mexico. So in my hometown, there was no university back then. It was one that it was like teaching like business and international trade, but it was nothing to do with the things that I wanted to do in life. So I remember that I applied for a scholarship because my dad died when I was very little. So it was
Mhm.
me, my mom, and my brother only in my family. So my
Right.
mom is very, very smart. She's a university professor. She has like a
Okay.
master and then another master and then another master degrees. And it was like it was never an option for me to decide if I wanna pursue a career or not. It was the to make the decision about what career I was gonna choose. And there
Right.
were only two universities in Sonora, my home state, that offered that because we couldn't afford for me to move to another place. So I went to that one because I got a scholarship and I liked it. And then when I moved to the US, and now that I go to so many universities and I've been doing these programs, and sometimes I teach just because they invite me, I realize how behind we were in my
Mhm.
university
Right.
compared to the
Right.
ones that I have the opportunity to experience right now. But actually, it was really fun. I went to a private university and I was the kid with the scholarship. You know what that means. I never had
I
my own
do.
car. I was like uh, riding the bus like an hour to get to the university because it was kind of outside of the city. I was the only one on a budget all the time. I remember that it was like, do I have breakfast or do I buy this book? So it was a quite different dimension when I went to the university. And because
Sure.
there were so many of my classmates that they already had a job when they were done with the university. It's like my uncle owns or my father is the director, and I didn't have anything of that.
Absolutely.
But now I look back and I think I'm one of the few that we still in media and we're actually killing it. And it's so amazed to see that transformation from the scholarship to the one who's making the decision now in a news organization. It feels
I
really
love that.
great.
I love it. I love that. I recently went to Mexico. Before I get to the next question, recently went to Mexico on a cruise. So I've been to Cabo San Lucas way back when. Tijuana. I pretty much grew up next to Tijuana all the time because I'm from San Diego, California. So Tijuana's right there. But the Cozumel was the city I went to on my cruise. And it was great. It was amazing. It was really hot. Don't get me wrong, but it was great. They had great food, great tacos, great cerveza. For those of you that don't know what cerveza means, that's beer in Spanish. It was great. It was awesome. And I just really loved my time there. And I love the country of Mexico. I really do.
We're fun. It's like when people ask me, what do you move? It's like, because lucky you, we're here.
Absolutely, absolutely, no question. Great food, great vibes. Everything was really good when I was there in Cozumel, and I got a chance to see the tulips, the tulips
Very
while I was
nice.
there. Very
That's
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty awesome. I want to ask some favorite questions. So you give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. So Maritza, are you ready?
Okay, yeah, I am. I guess.
Here we go. Here we go. I love it. All right. Favorite meal you like to cook?
I don't cook, but carne con chile, that's like red chili meat. That's
Ooh.
something that I really, really like. And mole.
Now, I've heard about mole. I've never had mole. So, I definitely love that, though. I love it. I'm a huge carne asada person, so I love carne asada.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So tacos are my favorite to cook. No question about that. I love those. Okay.
I'm really basic when I'm cooking. It's like my kids know when because my husband is a great cook. So whenever
Okay.
I have to make something for dinner, my kids know there's gonna be spaghetti or chicken with broccoli or something very basic.
Very basic. That's very basic, and I love that. You know your limitations, Maritza.
I do.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Well, I have too many. I remember one from YouTube that it was very amazing with Black Eyed Peas in the stadium over here in Phoenix. It was amazing. But I started this career being like a show business, arts and culture reporter. So I get to see a lot of concerts. And let me tell you, the ones that are like Mexican music, those are the best because it can be 3 a.m. and you've been standing in the sun the whole day, but you're still dancing and having fun. So, but I remember the YouTube, like the whole experience was amazing. But the Mexican music ones, those festivals, those are my favorites.
Okay, I like that. That's pretty cool. I like Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys was my favorite. I also like hip hop. I like hip hop a lot. I have seen a Hispanic concert before. What was the one that I liked? Ozuna. Do you know who
Oh,
Ozuna is?
uh-huh.
Yes, he's one of my favorites. Ozuna and Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny too.
Yeah, I have to see what Bunny. And then Shakira is coming pretty soon. So I already have my tickets. It's gonna
Okay,
be my
okay.
first
Well, you let
time.
let me know how that goes. Okay, please let me know. That's amazing. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
You know what? Obviously I love Mexico, but a couple of years ago I had the opportunity to go to Petra in Jordan, and I love that. There is something magical in that place. The food was amazing, the people was great. It was beautiful. So Petra, Jordan has to be one of my top three places to go for me.
Okay, I'll put that on the bucket list. Mine was Jamaica, no question about it. Jamaica was definitely beautiful. It was nice, great food. Jerk chicken was amazing. Scenery was great as well. So I would say Jamaica for me, for
Yeah, I've
sure.
been to Jamaica and it's great.
Yes, indeed.
It
Yes,
is
indeed.
beautiful. And everybody's so relaxed. It is like, it is real, the no worry, be happy feeling that you get over there. Maybe because we're
Absolutely.
tourists, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. It was everybody that we passed was like one love. One
Yes.
love. And I was like, okay, that's what's up. I love that. So it really was a laid back type of vibe, no question. Okay. Now, Maritza, I'm a sports reporter, so I'm gonna ask you a sports question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to watch in person. They can be the same sport.
We watch football, like American football, every Sunday with my husband because he's a football fan. And he's like, at the
Okay,
beginning, I couldn't
okay,
understand anything that they were doing. Now I get it. It's like, well, and the Super Bowl just passed. So that's something that I
okay,
like to watch.
okay,
And like in person, like the soccer games when Mexico is playing in the US, those are dope. It's like all the people get so excited. You can feel the adrenaline. You feel really proud when they're singing your national anthem and everything. And then I don't know, everybody's having fun and having drinks and enjoying each other. So I do love that. But I actually love going to the NBA games with when the Suns are playing. I love
absolutely.
And I do go to baseball because from the northern part of Mexico that I'm from, baseball is a huge thing. So we go to like the D-backs, and I like the Dodgers. I shouldn't say that out loud because I live in Arizona, but I love those games. I try to go to every single baseball game that I can. Sometimes I have no idea what the score is or who's playing, who's doing good or bad. I just like going over there to the stadium and having fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm huge in all those sports. Basketball, definitely probably my number one. I love baseball. Baseball, I'm a Padres fan. Growing up in San Diego, so I
Whereas
love the Padres. And the NFL, I love the NFL too. I'd rather watch the NFL at home though because it's so big. And sometimes they look like very miniature, small people over there. So I love watching it at home. But basketball, I love watching in person, and soccer. There's nothing. If you ever never been to a soccer match, I don't care if it's MSL or if it's World. They stand up, they cheer the entire time. They don't sit down. It's so loud. It's a great atmosphere for sure, no question. So I like that. Last of the favorites. I'm a foodie, so I want to ask you favorite restaurant there in Phoenix, Arizona, because I'm a traveler as well. I like going to different places. I've never been to Phoenix, so that's a place that I definitely would love to come to. What is your favorite restaurant to eat at?
there is a taco truck that is very, very good that you can actually feel like the Mexican flavor of the carne asada. And then the tortillas, the flour tortillas that are big, where they're like do the good burros with.
Yeah.
La Frontera. The name of it is La Frontera, and it's amazing. Every time that I travel, and I do travel quite frequently, every time that I land, my family knows it's like we're taking mom to the taco truck. That's one. There is another good mole place, La
Okay.
Santísima, that you can see that I'm like, ooh, I'm
Yeah,
home for
absolutely.
lunch.
I'm locked in. Yeah, absolutely.
It is like they have this the best black mole in town, and they do these like empanadas kind of thing that they do with the mole inside that are fantastic. And then the last one, there is another Casa Corazon. They have Mexican food with a salsa bar that is amazing. You can have this hibiscus kind of chamoy salsa that is fantastic. Whenever you're in town, just let me know and I'll take you to all these good places.
Okay. I was gonna say I'm definitely gonna when I touch down to Phoenix, because I definitely will come to Phoenix at some point. I will have to say hello to you and we'll have to go out and get some lunch. I would love that.
Yeah, I'm
That's
in.
amazing. That's amazing. Okay. I would love to hear your day to day. Especially as a journalist, our days, 2 days are never the same. We're always working on something different, doing something different, talking to somebody differently, especially when you're freelance. When you're freelance, you really don't have the same days because sometimes you go through a period where you might not get as much work as like a full-time journalist, right? So tell me what is a day in the life of Maritza's as a freelance journalist, being a founder and director of Connect to Arizona, and tell me about Connect to Arizona too.
So I wake up at 4:30 every morning so I can go
Wow.
to the gym at 5 and have my quiet time. I don't do much in the gym because I was in 2 car accidents, so I cannot lift stuff or everything. So
Oh,
I sit down in a bicycle with a bunch of old people that I really like and appreciate now. Every time that they miss the gym, I call them just to make sure that they're fine. So I bring
sure.
a book, I bring my coffee, and I'm like just like spending some quiet time at the gym. Six
Okay.
in the morning, I wake up my kids, get ready to school. I take them to school like around 7, 7:30, and then I come back home and I start working. I do the news of the day for Connect Arizona. Connect Arizona is a news you can use service that connects transborder communities with good fact check information in Espanol using WhatsApp. So every morning we send like a Ponte al Dia that is like get up to date with Connect Arizona. Is like the headlines and the things that you need to know before you leave your house while you're
Right.
with your cafecito. And that's something that I do in the mornings. Then I usually have like a bunch of meetings, like for work or like projects or like reports that I need to work on and things like that. At 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I usually do the cafecito in WhatsApp. That is like a digital sit down with the community. We have a chat. We open it up for an hour and we chat with our community about many different things. And that's
Okay.
really good for Conecta. And that's really good for my freelance gigs because sometimes a producer calls me, oh, Maritza, we're working on an immigration story about blah, 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 blah. And I already know who can be the great story that we can use for that documentary or for that piece or package or whatever that we're working on. So it's
Absolutely.
fantastic. Listening to the community is kind of the heart of the day. And then I keep like pitching stories, editing stories, writing stuff. I do travel a lot for work. I go to many conferences, sometimes just to be an attendee, sometimes just to be in a panel to talk about community journalism in Arizona and how to engage with Latino communities in Spanish in the border region. Um, and when I'm not traveling, I pick up my kids in the afternoon. We play a lot. When I'm a mom, I'm a full-time mom. So it's like no cell phones, no nothing. It's like I'm just cooking and playing and watching and doing stuff with the kids.
Absolutely.
And when they go to bed, like around 8 or 9 at night, that's when my creative process starts because I'm always full of energy and high on caffeine. And then at night is when the things I actually, when I'm tired, that's when I can think better and I can write better. So I'm more
Wow.
real at night when I'm tired because I can focus on the things that I'm doing. So that's typically me, and I go to bed like around midnight. I don't sleep much, but that's who I am. I have never, and but it's actually fun. And these days, for example, after January 20th, I've been spending like a lot of time in protest. I've been spending a lot of time like fact checking things for my community, calling people and following up, looking for people who has been arrested or detained. And well, it's been
Wow.
kind of chaotic around here.
Absolutely.
Hopefully that will change in the next couple of months, but it's been rough in Arizona for the past couple of weeks.
Is it because of just different kind of crimes that's happening, or maybe deaths, or why has it been so rough?
Well, since Trump got back to the White House, there has been kind of this perception of there is a hunt against immigrant communities and
Sure.
racial profiling because we're dark skinned, we have a thick accent, we live in the border
Absolutely.
region. And then Arizona, Arizona hasn't been a very friendly state for immigrants, even though we just live across Mexico.
You're right.
Um, so those are the things. So since Trump took office, there has been a lot of people taking advantage of that fear, of that need of our communities. So they have been like making these raids or operations that are not real, but community
Right.
members like that information gets spread on social media and Facebook or TikTok or whatever. So our community is kind of always alert and cautious about the things that are going on. So we have been doing a lot of that work. And obviously, a lot of protests because there is a lot of people trying to get together with the immigrant community that is not just Hispanic community around here. We have a lot of refugees coming to Arizona. And I think that's one of the things that community are getting together and actually amplifying those voices that are being very quiet right now because they're
Absolutely.
afraid of what's going to happen with them.
Right. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Appreciate you telling us that. I want to ask you about mental health and work-life balance. Reason being, as a journalist, there's a lot of people in our industry that have kind of died out and went to other different kind of occupations because mental health has been affected. When you're a journalist, the news never stops. It's 24/7, it's 365, and 66 on a leap year. It's all the time. And sometimes you got to always be on, and it could be a process of being overbearing, overwhelming. Also, a lot of times you hear words like underpaid and overworked for journalism. Right, right. So tell me, as a wife, as a daughter, as a mom, someone who's a founder, who's a director, that's been in this journalism space for quite some time, Maritza, tell me about how you keep your mental health strong and also have that work-life balance. Because, without having burnout, situations come about.
Well, I don't have a balance, and I'm that's very real. It's like I'm a workaholic. I love what I do, and I don't know how to do things like in the very small scale. It's like every time that I'm doing something, I give it my all, and that happens quite often with work. And I do travel a lot, so I spend a lot of time actually doing this, like working and not spending time being me, Maritza, present. So that's a real thing. Um, I think in the past 2 months, I have been feeling that being a Latina journalist, a woman working in the border with a thick accent, that feels more comfortable speaking Spanish still in the United States, feels really,
Sure,
really heavy just because
sure.
the political climate that we're living in.
Right,
But at the same time, I feel more empowered because I think that the work that we're doing and the voices that we are amplifying where our work are deserving. But sometimes it gets to you, and you get tired, and sometimes it's like it's not that I sit down and cry, but sometimes it's like you're just blocked when you want to write something. Sometimes you just feel tired, you just want to scroll
absolutely.
your phone, you just want to disconnect. For example, I used to watch a lot of documentaries because that's another thing that I do as a freelance. And now I just want to watch mindless entertainment on TV because I don't want to focus on anything. Those are the things that
Right,
it tells you.
right.
And then there's so many like mental health resources out there, but with our community, we have not made that connection because they lack the cultural competency of the things that we do. So for example, we as
Sure,
Latinos, we're raised to be grateful all the time or just to get a good job and stay with it forever because it gives you like financial stability and a health insurance. And
absolutely.
me as a freelancer with like my own marketplace health insurance that is completely different from the other ones, it's kind of not following the steps that you were taught when you were little to do.
Sure, sure.
So there's so many challenges, but the other thing is I'm annoyingly positive. I'm always full of energy. My friends actually is like, where is her? Where do I turn her off? Because it's all the time I'm on and like very excited and dancing and doing things. And that
Which I
helps.
love, by the way. I love your energy, by the way, but go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry. I'm always like very high on caffeine too. That's another thing is, and the thing is like that helps me as a person, but I have realized that not everybody has the same amount of energy and they can burn faster if they don't take care of themselves. Now that I have a team with Connect Arizona, it's not just me. Now we hire people and everything. I'm realizing that and trying to give people the space for them to do something fun or a passionate project so they can actually find that love for journalists as well. Working as a freelance with other freelancers in Arizona made me realize that some of them they just stopped loving journalism because they were
Yeah,
so tired and so overworked and so underpaid. So for
yep.
example, we just recently launched a podcast and the podcast is about good feeling stories about the border. The name of it is Cruzando Líneas, crossing lines in English.
Awesome, awesome.
Um, and it's just freelance journalists that they were like ready to quit journalism because they were making cents of a dollar for the same work that somebody else was doing for $1,000, for example.
True.
And they started
Absolutely.
like, I'm gonna pay you like if you were like a white, straight, very conservative guy in news. So those are the ones that are actually making the money.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna make and you're gonna work on a project that you have been always wanted to work on, but it was not newsworthy for that another news outlet, but it is for us. So we got the support of philanthropy. We fundraised for that podcast, and everybody is being so happy and
I
proud
love it.
of the work that they did, and they feel loved and well compensated because finally we had a project that they could work and they could fall in love with journalism again.
I love that. I do. And we need more women of color,
Of course.
definitely in our field. It's just something that I'm actually writing about it I'm in my master's school, so I'm in graduate school. I get my master's in May. So my last paper or feature story project is a capstone where I'm writing about the inequalities of women's sports reporting.
Exactly. There are many.
And as far as pay, treatment, and opportunities go. And I feel that us men need to be more of an advocate for ladies. I feel ladies are obviously going to be an advocate for each other, but I feel like us men need to hop on board as well. Our sports demographic is not just men watching sports, it's women watching sports too. Women covering sports, it makes our industry even more better. And that's all around to different genres. Obviously, I'm speaking from the sports, but also news, entertainment, all kinds of genres. We need more women involved, and not just women. We need women of color too,
Yeah,
brown and black. So
and take it
I
seriously.
love that. Absolutely.
Because I hate when they say it's like we're gonna have a women because one story. I used to work in a newspaper before working on TV, and like 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, our sport reporters quit. And my boss told me, it's like, you're on. And I had no idea who everybody was. So I
Right.
remember Tom Brady, because obviously everybody knows who Tom Brady is. So I didn't know anybody else. I remember that I went to the media day, that it can be overwhelming because you can see all the sports players and you can
Absolutely.
see like a bunch of media and everything. I remember that I was
Yes.
taking pictures of the players, sending to my husband. My husband like, and I was asking him, who is he and what should I ask? Because I was clueless. But then at the end, my husband knows everything. So I was like, everybody thought that I was a pro and I wasn't. But I look around me and all the people asking questions was men. And then all the people who were doing like the fun stuff, like the entertainment or who's wearing what, it was women. And I saw it's like maybe some of those reporters who are doing like just fashion, they're very passionate about sports, but they haven't had the opportunity to be here where I am
Right.
right now, taking
Right.
a space that doesn't belong to me because I wasn't a sport reporter. And I was talking to a couple of them that they came from out of the country, and they were saying exactly that. It's like we're just here because we just want to put one feet in the door and trying to open it for the next Super Bowl. We can actually be the ones asking the questions. So they were paying
Absolutely.
their dues, and it's like, why? Why? Just because they're women? That
Right.
should be the case.
That never should be. And shout out to your husband for knowing all about sports. That's amazing that he did that. That's a good man right there. It's a good man. And I
It's
just
like,
came back from the Super Bowl. I just came back from the Super Bowl 'cause I was in New Orleans covering that. And like you said, there was a lot of men asking questions. Now it was more so women down there on the field now than what it was probably when you did that Super Bowl with Tom Brady. And the needle is being moved. Don't get me wrong, but it needs to be moved even more because there was a lot more men on that field than it was women. I can assure you of that. It was a great time in New Orleans, but it's also a conversation that we need to continuously have, and that's what I think we should do. I want to ask you about advice. I'm sure there's ladies that come up to you, maybe college graduates, maybe high schoolers, maybe people that you have talked to out there in Phoenix, Arizona, that will ask you for advice. What kind of advice would you give an individual that wants to join the journalism business?
now I can give this advice. It's like change your relationship with money. That's something that it took me
Mm,
like more than 10 years to get here. For example, negotiating. For me, it was like always negotiating from a position of need and not a position of power. But if people are looking at us, if we're pitching to a news organization, we have
yep,
something to bring to the table. We have
without question.
something and access to a community that probably they don't have, and this has some value. So at the beginning, I remember that when I started freelancing, I was so excited because one of the news organizations that was big internationally called me, and I was doing all my work almost for free. And then I realized it's like, no, there's a lot of people making a lot of money for the access that I'm giving them to my community. And I need
Mhm.
to better negotiate. What am I going to make out of this, and how my community is going to benefit of this, and not just let them be extractive. So
Okay.
ask way more than that you think that your work is value, because you can actually negotiate from them, and then know when you are able to walk away from a deal. There are some times that there is money on the
Mm,
table, but it's not worth your effort. It's not worth just
absolutely.
sacrificing your values and anything. An opportunity will come around the corner, not exactly that way. You can walk away from any single story or work or project that you don't feel that it fits with your values. That's something that you can. And the other one is invest time in people. Uh, we
Absolutely.
think that having coffee with a community member or just like doing a ride along on your own on the border or just like sitting down in a local restaurant is just like having fun or spending time not wisely, but actually is investing time in your community, and at the end that pays off because being there in their community you will get the inspiration that you need for all the stories that somebody else is missing when they are stuck in a press conference. So investing time in people and taking a good eye, looking things differently are gonna open the door for you a lot than just going to press conference and having coffee with officials or like experts that you know already know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. No, I do,
It's
and
fun.
especially when
I
go
Yeah,
ahead.
bringing back joy to journalism should be the thing that we focus on in the next 4 years, at least for us. It's like everything is against you, but we live, well, I live in Arizona. This is the desert. We have monsoons. We already flourish against everything. So let's do it with joy because we're going to be here forever. Nobody's like taking us to
Right.
anywhere else. So let's do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Maritza, that's the reason why I do this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. Sometimes people get a misconception. Right? When they see you in front of the camera, they're like, wow, there's the beautiful lady, Maritza. She's giving us the 411 about the news, about our community. It's really fun. She must have it made. But they really don't understand what you go through in order to get to what you do, the behind the scenes. Like you just said, you wake up at 4:30 in the morning. That's pretty early, right? You go to sleep at midnight. That's pretty late. You don't sleep much, but you are a pillar in your community and you're serving your community and you are giving opportunities to people to tell stories, to story tell. But people don't see that. And they should be able to see that. But the only way they're going to know about that is if you talk about it. I love the fact that you brought up the money. I really do. I'm somebody who is huge into that. The reason why I went freelance is because of that reason. Is because sometimes people will pay you pennies on a dollar and
Exactly.
not value your worth. And you have to be able to know your worth. Maritza, a quick story before I get to the next one. I was told that I was below average after being with a company for almost 15 months. And the reason why I was told that was because they did not want to give me a raise. And my thing was they wanted to pile on more work and they wanted to ask me of more responsibilities. I told them that's absolutely great. Bring it on. I want more. I want to do more. I love this industry with my heart. But when you keep on tacking on more and more and more, eventually you're going to want to see an increase in that dollar amount.
Exactly.
You want to get paid more. Well, the higher up said that I was below average and I wasn't very good, but I said, but you're giving me more work to do and you're not lessening up the work. So, and you never said that when my first year here. So I don't understand. But then I said, how do I get better? How do I get better as a journalist if you're saying I'm below average? Well, this is what they said. They said, well, we don't have the necessary tools to help you get better. So when I heard that, Maritza, it was time for me to go. Because now it's like, okay, now I know what time it is. You got to know your worth. You got to make those decisions. Don't be afraid to make those decisions. It was time to go freelance. Best decision I ever made because now I'm able to work for several different networks or publications, do games, do stories, and get paid for each one that I do that I want to do. So, and I also now substitute teach. So I substitute teach now. So I was happy with that. I wasn't doing that while I was working with the publication, but now I'm doing that. So I thought that was just a great advice that you gave.
It is very important. I was here on a work when I got to the US, I got here on a work visa. And I went to the whole immigration system. And I always had to prove myself to others. It's like that I deserve to be here, that I deserve the sponsorship of the visa, that I needed to work harder and longer than everybody else because I was the
Sure.
only one who was sponsored. And at the end, when I became a freelance, when I finally could adjust my status and I got my green card and I decided to go freelancers, I realized that I was making the same amount of money working in four different projects per year than the full year at the TV station that I was working. And
Absolutely.
I didn't had to sacrifice time with my kids. I could like take a day off to take them to the doctor or to do
Yep.
something fun with them instead of all the time working a very toxic environment, feeling bad
Right.
because I wasn't never enough for them. But
Right.
but I realized that I was shrinking just to feed in their table instead of me actually expanding and growing up and helping others to
Yes.
grow up. And that's
Yes.
very, very important to know. And when you're starting in this career, you feel very grateful for every single opportunity. And I realize that you have to pay your dues. That's something that you
Yes.
have to do because this is how the system is still we change it.
Right.
But at what time do you realize that you're like spending more of your life, your younger years, their more productive life,
Mhm.
sitting over there fulfilling everybody else's desires, and probably you're going to have a supervisor that is going to know less than you, and he's going to be threatened by you, and he's going to put all the barriers of your success. It's like it's
Uh,
not worth it.
No, absolutely not. And I truly do love that. I love that you brought that up. Maritza, we have came to the portion of the podcast now that we're going to play my interactive game. It's called This or That. Okay. So
Okay.
what this is I'm gonna throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. I do this typically with all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. So for the second time, I'm gonna ask you, Maritza, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here
Of-
we go. So this first question, I just want to get this out the way. Do you eat chicken?
yes.
Okay. So which chicken place would you rather go to? Hopefully they got them out there in Phoenix, Arizona. KFC or Popeyes?
KFC.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, I haven't been to a KFC in years. It's
Maybe because
crazy.
I have more KFCs around, like
Yeah.
just 5 minutes away here.
Okay. Okay. Got you. That's totally awesome. I love that. Now, on a chicken wing, which flavor would you rather choose? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Barbecue.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Wet.
Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
So you like to get a little messy, huh?
Yeah, I like them hot.
Ooh, okay, okay. Well, maybe we can go out with some wings too when I get there, girl. I like that. Okay, that's what's up. All right. Here we go. The next 5 questions I have for you are music concerts you
Okay.
rather attend. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. First one up. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Romeo Santos or would you rather see Ozuna?
Romeo Santos.
Okay, okay, got you on that. He was also in the group Aventura, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, okay, got you. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Chris Brown or Usher?
Usher.
Ooh, okay, okay, I got you on that. I like that. Which music concert, Maritza, would you rather see? Beyonce or Rihanna?
Oh, that's a tough one. Maybe
Mhm.
I know more songs from Beyonce, but and I already saw Rihanna at the Super Bowl, so Beyonce.
Beyonce. Okay, okay. You said that was a tough one though. That's pretty good. Okay. So here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Wisin E. Yandel
Mm-hmm.
or would you rather see Don Toliver?
Wisin y Yandel. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
okay. So you
perreo, that's reggaeton, that's my guilty pleasure. The reggaeton is my guilty pleasure.
okay now that's my guilty pleasure too. I don't move well, but I like when they move. So I'm good with that. I love reggaeton.
Yeah,
Okay.
our hips don't lie. I'm with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. The last one I'll ask you is a nostalgic one. Okay. So, which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather see Janet Jackson or Mariah Carey?
Oh, Janet Jackson.
Mm, okay, you got some good music taste there.
Yeah, unless it's Christmas, because everybody loves Mariah on Christmas.
That's true. That's very true. Okay, okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or hockey?
Basketball.
Okay. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
Nope. I'm not good at sports at all, but I do like them. I try.
Okay.
I'm much
Okay.
better at dancing. That's
Well,
than
that's good.
sporting.
That's good. See, again, you know your limitations. So that's so good. Do you like desserts?
I love dessert.
Okay, so I'm gonna name 4 categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these categories, Maritza, that you'll never eat again. Okay, so here's the first one. First one is ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is cookies.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is cakes/pies. The last one is candy. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Candy.
I'm with you on that. I would have got rid of candy too. What's your favorite ice cream?
Oh, Napolitano, like the 3 flavors, or pistachio. I love pistachio.
Oh, so you like, okay, so you like the Neapolitan. You like
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
Okay, got you, got you. I feel you on that. Okay, I'm a cookies and cream guy, so I like cookies and
Oh,
cream. Absolutely. Okay, do you like potato chips?
I do.
Okay, same format. I'm going to
Okay.
throw 4 brands at you. You got to choose one of these brands to get rid of. And one of the brands is not Cheetos. So I'm
Mhm.
not going to say Cheetos. Okay,
Okay.
so here we go. First brand, Doritos.
Mhm.
Second brand, Pringles. Third brand, Lay's. The last brand is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Pringles.
Girl, we gonna eat well. I would do that too. I would I would get rid of Pringles too. What's your favorite chip?
I like Tostitos and Rufles and the Cheetos. I love Cheetos. And now my kids are really into Takis. They're so expensive and so unhealthy. They're so good.
Let me guess. Are you somebody that likes buffalo sauce? Do you like a little hot or
Yes.
spice with your food?
Course. I put salsa and lemon on my chips all the time. Like
I'm
even the
with you on that.
Ruffles, I put like salsa and lemon.
Wow. Okay. I've never heard of that, but I like that. I like that. That sounds delicious. It really does. Okay. You did very good on this or that. You were absolutely excellent. And it leads me to this next question that I love to ask all journalists. Um, I want to get a top 2. I'll say a top 2 or 3 from you of stories that you have done that have been very impactful in your journalism career thus far.
First one is about family separation. I did a story for Channel 4 in London that then I repurposed for the nation on parenting about kids that were separated at the border that stay in the detention center for 90 days. The kid was lost in the system in New York.
Wow.
It was very, very heartbreaking. And now I cannot write about them because they become so close to me that we even send Christmas cards and everything because
Wow.
I visit them and everything because I followed their journey for I don't know how many years
Yeah.
that we became really close. Second one is a documentary that I helped produce that is now on HBO Max. That is The Massacre of the Mormons. And it's an ambush that happened on the northern part of Mexico where 3 women and 6 kids got killed. It was
Wow.
very, very heartbreaking. It's about politics, it's about narcos, it is about that community that is a polygamous community, it's about faith and everything that is
Mhm.
kind of is weird. And I think the third one could be about the 2 Nogales during the pandemic. Nogales, Sonora in Mexico, Nogales, Arizona in the US, and how we were like trying to document how different their life were because of the border restrictions and the pandemic. So Mexico had no access to healthcare. There was no vaccines. There was no free tests, but everybody was living their dream and the business were blooming because they couldn't cross the border. So everybody was spending the money in Mexico. And then you can
Absolutely.
see, yeah, you can see the Nogales on this side of the border. And it was like watching paint dry. It was quiet. It was painful. Everybody was like, it was
Wow.
completely opposite. So having that comparison between the 2 Nogales during the same time period during the pandemic, it was so enlightening. And just to see how much we actually need to go back and forward with those border communities and how we actually need each other so much.
That was some damn great stories, Maritza. That was really good. That was really nice. I love that you did that. And wow, where can they catch that? You said HBO Max. What's the name of that documentary or that program?
The Massacre of the Mormons, that's on HBO Max. You can watch it
Okay.
over there. And the
Okay.
other one, where we have multiple multiple
You good.
platforms. And we did another one that it was fantastic. When the pandemic just started,
Yeah.
Remember they were looking for good feeling stories. We didn't know how much, how long the border restrictions were gonna be here, and we got a newlyweds that she was a U.S. citizen, but he was not, and they tried to cross the border the day that they closed it, and he couldn't cross the border, so she
Oh,
decided
wow.
to spend the pandemic with him in the Mexican side of the border just because they were like newlyweds and everything. So it was a very, at the end, we end up being divorced. Nobody survived the pandemic or the border restrictions, but it was a very good feeling story back then. I'll happy to send you the link so you can like read or watch or listen to the stories.
Please, please do. I'm always intrigued to listen and watch and to read about things obviously that I'm not hip up on, or 'cause I want to be educated as well in this instance. So that'd be great. Please do. What's some we talked about advice you would give? What's some advice that someone that gave you, Maritza, that was, impactful to you, that has stayed with you?
I done a lot of professional development programs in the past 5 years since the pandemic started, and I launched Connect Arizona, and I became a freelancer. It was like a lot of things coming together at the same time that it was a little bit overwhelming. I did one that the name of it is the Media Transformation Challenge. It used to be the Sulzberger program at Columbia. Now it's at Pointer. And I remember that I had this negotiation class, and the guy that I was negotiating with, he works for a news agency that is huge, and he is like one of the top leaders of that organization. So he has a lot of decision power. And we were gonna go into this room to start negotiating, and my partner was him. He's tall and big and intimidating, and I'm short. I'm 5'1". I weigh like 120 pounds. It's like I'm tiny, so you can see the difference in everything.
Yeah,
And when we sit down in that room to negotiate, he told me, "It's like, Maritza, I'm very like afraid of negotiating with you." And I was completely intimidated by him. And he was like, "Why?" "Because you're not afraid of walking away, because you know what you want and you know that you can build it regardless of people supporting you or not. So you walk
absolutely.
away anytime." And I remember at that moment, something clicked in my mind. And that's when I started negotiating from a position of power. So every time that I'm negotiating now, I think about David, and it has worked so good. So whenever I'm like doubting myself, I do remember that I can actually be as well intimidating for other people who doesn't know what they're leading with. And that actually that walking away can be my superpower at the same time.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. No doubt. I love that. I want to get just a couple more questions. I want to get a top four from you again, and this is about Phoenix, Arizona. Like I said, I'm a huge traveler. I've never been to Phoenix, Arizona. When I touch down in Phoenix, Arizona, what is four things that I should do?
visit the Desert Botanical Garden. That is fantastic. You will see all the saguaros, and right now they're blooming, and you will see the flowers and everything. That's great. Another, obviously, do like a good taqueria or food truck tour. That's fantastic. It
Okay.
doesn't need to be just like Mexican food. That we have the great kebabs. We have different kind of like we have some sushi places that are taco trucks that are fantastic. Third one could be go to the border if you can drive up over there so you can see everything. That actually the drive is quite nice. It's only 3 hours, and you will get to see a lot of like different cultures like Tucson, going to Nogales and everything. And the fourth one will be if you are into vortex and energy and healing vibes and everything, go to Sedona. And if you can, to the Grand Canyon, that is very, very close by. You will see all the
Mm,
red rocks over there. It's a vortex. It's beautiful. It's like you're driving on the Cars movie that you can see all the red rocks on Route 66. It's fantastic. And you get to connect with the nature and everything. Phoenix is an interesting city. It's a growing city, but it still lacks a little bit of personality because this,
okay.
this was the land of the Native American communities. This was Mexico before, and I think in an effort to start all over again as like the 48th state of the United States, they
Yeah.
wiped off a lot of our history. So we don't have like a Statue of Liberty, or we don't have like the Golden Gate. We don't have any landmarks that are very, very unique from Phoenix. So you have to drive a little bit just to find that charm within this metropolitan area.
I love that. I do. I do. Okay. I do love nature. I love mountains. I love walking. I love sightseeing. Obviously, I'm a sport dude, so I definitely would check out some kind of sporting event
Oh
there,
yeah.
whatever season it is, for sure. But I just love exploring new cities and learning new things about new places. So thank you for that top four. We're getting close to the end of the podcast. So what I want to do now is I want to do some rapid fire questions. Okay. So that means first thing that comes to your mind, Maritza, you shouted out with glee. Okay. So for the last time, I'm gonna ask you, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Burgers or tacos?
Tacos,
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
pancakes.
Chicken or ribs?
Oh, ribs.
Okay. What is Maritza's favorite color?
Black.
Ooh, I like that. Black is always good. Absolutely. Okay. What is Maritza's favorite alcoholic drink?
Oh, I do like beer, and then the second one will be margaritas.
Okay. Now, in a margarita, are you putting salt or sugar around the rim?
Salt with chili.
Really? Salt
Yeah,
with
with
chili?
tajin.
You're
Or
gonna have to show me
chamoy.
that one. I have never heard of that one. Okay. I'm a huge margarita person, so I
You
like
need to
that.
come
All
to
right.
Arizona. I'll take care of you.
Okay. Say less. You heard it here. I love it. Okay. Favorite sandwich?
I like anything that has avocado on it, and it can be
Okay.
like turkey, avocado, and bacon, with ranch. All
Oh, that's pretty
guilty
good.
pleasures.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Favorite board game?
I've been playing Monopoly with my kids lately, but I don't like it because I always lose, and that's not fun. Oh, but I'm really good at that game that you put like the picture on your forehead and you have to guess what you are.
Oh, like charades or Pictionary?
Like something like that. It's like headbands or something like that. My kids love that,
Oh,
and I'm really, really good and I always win. And that's why I love that.
okay. I love it. Favorite card game?
Oh, Uno.
Okay. Favorite Netflix show or TV series?
Oh, there are many. I just watched Cien Años de Soledad and I really liked it. There are so many others. I like you. I like the when people like are very complicated, like those serial crimes shows. I love them.
Okay. Okay. You know that I've a lot more people have liked shows like that. You and the crime shows and How to Get Away with Murder and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I'm like, okay, y'all watching it because y'all like it, or y'all watching it trying to get ideas? Like, what's going on?
Don't look at my Google search. No, I'm just kidding. I love all the shows from Spain, like the series from Spain, because I love
Right.
their accent in Spanish. It is so fantastic, and they have very complicated, like soap opera kind of things, stories. So I love those
Yeah.
as well.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like it. Favorite U.S. state that you visited outside of obviously Phoenix, Arizona?
Oh, I like California a lot. Mhm.
That's my hometown state. I like that. Okay.
I do like San Diego a lot. I try to go
I
at
would
least once a
say
year.
favorite country you visited outside of Mexico.
Outside of, yeah, Italy. I like Italy, and the Dominican Republic is, I love Dominican Republic.
Ooh. I may have to ask you about the DR because I plan on going on a cruise this year to the DR. So I may have to ask you about stuff where to go and stuff like that. Okay. If you had a choice of listening to three songs or three artists that you would never get tired of listening to, you can listen to them on repeat. Who would those three artists or three songs be?
I like Carol G. She's Colombian. She's fantastic. I love her. Soda Stereo, they're no longer with us, but that's a rock band music from Argentina that is fantastic, and I love them.
Oh,
And then my
okay.
guilty pleasure lately is Bad Bunny, and nobody understands that, but I do like it. And his new album is like on repeat when I'm walking and when I'm traveling. Everything gets me in a good mood. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. You got some great music taste, Maritza. There's no question about that. If you had a choice to choose three people to take on vacation, plus you, so it'd be a total of four, who would those three people that you would take and where would you go?
Well, I'll take my family because they're actually fun to travel with. And for them, I'll take them to Japan. And another one is one of my coworkers and friend, and the one who helped me like launch Connect Arizona, Daniel. And I will take
Mhm,
it to like a good, I don't know, street city like New York or something because he's a street photographer and he
mhm,
loves those kind of deals. And
mhm.
the last one, I'll say my mom, because we usually do like a daughter's, mother's trip. And if I never get tired, my mom is like the real queen of the walking. It's like, we can Uber. No, it's like 22,000 steps. We'll
Wow.
do that. We'll do it. And I'll take her to maybe Jordan just to visit Petra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Marissa's mom. I bet she is absolutely lovely as you. No question about that. Shout out to her, no doubt. Last one of the rapid fire. If they came to you, Maritza, and they said you can only do one of these as far as a job for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Would it be a reporter? Would it be a writer? Would it be a director? Or none of the above? I'll choose something else.
I'll be a writer and then I'll be changing genres. Like I don't know how to say it in English. Like today I can write a fiction, and today I could write the next 50 Shades of Red, and then the next day I could write.
Oh, so different genres. You write
Yeah.
different genres. Oh, okay, okay. I would love to read some of your stuff. No question about that. No question. That would be amazing. I think this has been an amazing conversation with you, Maritza, learning about your background and your why of getting into journalism, going to Northwest University as well, out there getting your degree, out there in Phoenix, creating something from nothing, being a founder of something, being a director for something, and Connect Arizona and storytelling. It's always a pleasure talking to a fellow storyteller because you can tell the passion that you have in what you do and the excellence that you exhibit in what you do. It's absolutely a blessing to talk to you and be here with you on my platform. I thank you so much. And the last question that I have for all of my guests is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
No, I think you got it covered. I'm just gonna wait for you here in Phoenix so we can have. Oh, yeah, I have a question. How do you like your coffee? Everything that I do is rounds around coffee. How do you like your coffee?
That is a great last question. I do not drink coffee.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
Well,
do.
how
I
about
have
you?
never had in my 38 years of life, I've never had a cup of coffee.
Sacrilegio. We can fix that?
I've always had people ask me, how do you get up in the morning? I
Exactly.
normally have water, or I'll have a glass of pineapple juice. I'm huge in the pineapple juice, and or grape juice, either or, one of those. So, but yeah, maybe I'll try it for the first time when I come out there. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get you some café de olla that is very, very good. It's like coffee with cinnamon that is fantastic. Yeah, you would like that.
Okay, I love it. Well, Maritza, you enjoy this President's Day holiday, the rest of your Monday, and you enjoy the rest of your week. We will certainly be in touch. I look forward to talking to you down the line. You take care.
Muchas gracias, Chris. Nice meeting you.